Alex Vinogradov, co-founder of Unigox, a next-generation P2P crypto platform using zero-knowledge tech to make P2P trades scam-proof and make them accessible for emerging markets like Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. But this isn't just a tech story. This is the untold journey of how a 16-year-old from Estonia built one of the talent's top modeling agencies from scratch. Also scouted for elite model agency in Paris and turned down his dream job in New York to dive into AI and blockchain startups. And now is revolutionizing trust in online finance with Unigox. We will dive into how Alex pivoted from fashion to code, built Beholder.ai, and Clip Finance, and finally decided to team up to tackle P2P's biggest pains. I am Arthur, co-founder of Unigox, so let's get straight into this. Okay, let's briefly talk about, before your modeling career, how you got into fashion.
So I was a photographer. I was an aspiring photographer, and I was assisting one of the, in my opinion, back in the days, the best photographers in Tallinn. His name was Filippo Carotti. He was going by the name of Wooland. So I was watching a magazine, and I saw his editorial shoots, and I decided that I need to get in touch with him. The idea that to get in touch with him I got from the books. I was reading a lot of books of photographers who basically said that they were assisting this photographer, and because of that, they got to where they are. So I was like, okay, if those guys assisted photographers, let me also start assisting photographer, learn and get into the industry. One thing I didn't realize that in reality, learning photography is not the hard part. The hard part is actually the relationships, and I think that what got me into the fashion industry in general and all of that was the fact that I was able to meet the right people who pointed me into the right directions.
Okay, so I got it. I'm curious, so how old were you then and how old are you now, just to get the idea?
So I was 16 years old. Now I'm 32. Yeah.
Okay, and then what made you get into the fashion, like photography, and you're saying that you were at the right time at the right place. You got somehow lucky.
I think it's not luck. It's I had this idea that um, like in order for me to be in the spotlight and get like female attention. I mean, I was 16. All I cared about was female attention. It's like I need to become a photographer. So that's how it started.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, okay. So you became a photographer, right? That was your first step into the fashion industry, and then what happened until you founded your own modeling agency eventually?
Yeah. So that was the journey. Like when I walked into the room with that photographer, I wanted to assist. He looked at me and is like, "Okay, go bring the book." I brought the book, and he's like, "Can you tell me the story, what you see in this editorial?" And I was looking at him, and I was afraid to say a word. I didn't know what to say because I didn't want to appear dumb. I also didn't have an idea of the editorial thing because my kind of ideas about photography was very surfaced. I was like, "Oh, let me shoot beautiful girls." But then after that, once he gave me a chance and invited me to an editorial shoot, I kind of started seeing the whole industry and the whole beauty around the fashion world. So essentially, I kind of jumped into the water and learned how to swim. It was a naive idea of let me do photography and shoot beautiful women to getting introduced to the fashion world and seeing it from inside and falling in love with it.
Okay, okay. So you took the job, or you were just passionate about it, and you had a mentor.
Yeah,
What was it?
it was like I took a mentorship. Sorry, I was mentored by this guy who asked me to carry his bags for free, and I did it because all I wanted to do was spend time on the set, see him working, see and meet the people participating in putting together the biggest campaigns, the biggest editorials, and then I was super proud because I could say, "Hey, look at this magazine shoot. I was there. I was assisting, and my name was on that." So it kind of gave me a sense of pride to see my name written in a magazine.
Okay, so there could be an alternative scenario that you became a photographer, and because you wanted to be surrounded by beautiful girls and women, right? And you could just be like that and just continue being a photographer, but instead you decided to create your own modeling agency. Like, what was why and how did and what happened then?
So I think one thing I forgot to mention about the photographer story, a lot of it was also inspired by watching fashion TV, and a lot of it was inspired by seeing this America's Next Top Model thing. I was seeing people looking for talent, helping the talent grow, and also being part of like this photography thing. So how this whole thing worked was that I was at a shoot, and an agent that was starting an agency in Estonia came with her model to do a test shoot. So I was there, I met her, and we started talking, and she said, "Oh, I'm starting an agency." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me also assist you so I can learn more about it." And then she invited me to her studio because she was actually a fashion designer and she was doing the modeling agency thing like part-time. And she told me, "Hey, let's organize a casting. You can go walk the streets and scout models." And I was kind of mind blown because I thought that being a model agent means that everyone is going to be begging you to take them into a modeling agency. And the reality was that I was going on the streets begging models to actually want to do modeling. Maybe it's just about the fact that it's Estonia and people are not as eager to take risks and go into fashion and go become models like, for example, the bigger countries where it's more like a dream. But since Estonia had a lot of success stories with models, there was still quite a bit of eagerness to do modeling.
Okay, I got it. So basically, you were doing sales.
Exactly. It's literally sales.
All right. So what have you learned? Any tips and tricks? Because you need to gain the trust, right, of young girls, basically.
Yeah, the getting the trust of young girls was really easy because I was young myself. I think at that time I was already 17. But the hardest part was, how does a 17-year-old convince a parent to send their 16-year-old daughter to Japan for the summer? And that was the hardest part, especially coming from me. So the agency that I was working for, it was called Star System. They had a headquarters in Paris. Because I was 17 and I was still learning, I was just scouting the people and bringing the talent to this designer woman, and she was talking to them. But then what happened is that she moved to China, and I was like, the agency was left with nobody except a few talents.
Why did she move to China?
She was like, her husband her husband was an architect, and he got a business opportunity to do architecture in China. So she basically tagged along, and the founder of Star System, was called Star System after it was called System, called me on my birthday, wished me a happy birthday, and said, "Hey, like, we don't have anyone in Tallinn. You should start and scout for us. We're not going to pay you, so you got to figure it out yourself. We'll give you commission, and we'll teach you." And I said, "Sure, let's do it."
Okay, so, but before that, I'm curious to know about the numbers, right? So you were 17, you were getting before that commission too, before the system. Did you understand back then, like, how the business works, or again, you just did purely for fun? It's starting from, first you do photos already, you have everything set up for you, right? You're in the room, there are girls, and you just do photos of them. Now you have to find them, basically, the next thing. So how were the numbers and everything, like the whole business?
I would say I was doing it purely for fun. The numbers were, I had to work a part-time job that was paying me money so that I could maintain the ability to pay for my studio. And I was making basically no money in the beginning. So it was purely for fun until I scouted a few good talents who then went to travel. And the people who hired me to build a star system, they started seeing, okay, this guy has potential. We can start investing. And then they started paying me like, I think like 500 euros a month just for me to cover my expenses and still scout. And I was in school still back then.
Okay.
Like I was doing calls from the school library with the people in Paris talking about sending plans for sending the talent to travel during the summertime.
Okay, interesting. So I'm curious, okay, how you got your like kind of next career move was Star System. And you said now you were 18 back then, and then you got invited to Star System, right?
Yeah, so we built this thing to, I don't know how many talents we are, but we had over 150 models. At the best time, I think around 30 were traveling, and that became, I would say, like the top 3 agency in Estonia. And I felt that, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a quick sip. I felt like it's time for me to move. I broke up with my girlfriend, and that was like the breaking point. It was like, okay, um, she she probably was not too happy of my career achievements because when you go into the modeling industry, you have like super rich people with cool cars and all this stuff, and then there's me trying to build an agency. And when you break up, it's like, okay, I think now it's time for you to wake up and make a leap in your career. So I was like, I'm gonna start traveling. I'm gonna figure it out, and I always wanted to be in New York. So let me see if anyone wants to hire me in New York. So I kind of went to meet agencies in New York.
I got a question before
Yeah.
that. So before the New York, why didn't you kind of decide? Didn't you see growth opportunities in Star System? Okay, you broke up with the girlfriend. Okay, that's kind of one reason to stop
Yeah.
doing this. But how? Yeah, you can't really your relationship affect your business or career. Why didn't you pursue?
So the problem was that when you scout the talent at 14, 15, 16, they really start working at 18, 19, 20, and if they start working full time. So imagine how many years you have to wait until then. And within this period of time, these people
Wait,
can
sorry, you mean the models when you
the
find
models.
them at 16, you gotta
Exactly.
wait a few years
Exactly.
before they kind of start making money for the
Exactly.
agency.
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, until then, you're making no money and you're putting all the money that you made from the models that are traveling into building the new talent. And the business model is kind of hard because, I mean, in Estonia is 1.5 million people or something like that. If you, the people that we were scouting, they were so young because everyone else was already scouted. So everyone already knew everybody. Like we were going even standing in front of schools like creeps trying to get the talent. So because we've had to find them so young and everyone else was taking, you had to wait so many years until they will start making money for the agency and pay and make money for you. So essentially, if I would be there waiting for them 5 years, I'd be already old. And my goal was to be young and successful, not old and successful.
Oh, I see. I have also a story where I have a good female friend of mine. She's from a small island in Estonia, and when she was 15 years old, she was taking a ferry to the mainland, and there was a scout that gave her a number, like, "Hey, you're now 15, but call me back when you're 18, then you get to work." And she did that, and she moved to New York and everything. So that's the example you said.
Was that a foreign scout or Estonian scout?
Estonian, yeah,
Estonian,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, okay, I'm curious. Like, okay, before you got into you moved to New York, still about the whole modeling agency. I see here parallels with software development services, right? So how do you do now? Now basically you hunted the talent.
Yeah.
Now how do you do sales? How do you make this sustainable business? Not some like side fun project, right? But yeah, how to make this sustainable business?
Yeah, the scouting looked like this. In the beginning, I was in Tallinn, just sitting in the shopping mall in front of the most popular store, Zara. All the girls go there, so I just sit there. If I find someone,
And you listen to the cool music in Zara.
listen to the cool music of Zara, I stand there like a creep. I see someone interesting, I approach them. Excuse me, I'm a scout. You look interesting. Can I snap a picture of you real quick? So you essentially kind of explain what you do. You take a picture, and then you get in touch with them on social media, and you ask like to meet them with their parents. So then the parents come, you have a business meeting, you explain what the agency does, what the opportunities are, how the thing works. If they like it and if the person who I scouted is accepted, then we sign the agreement and then we start developing them. So we develop them until summer, and the summer is when they get to the first trip. So let's say they go to Japan for 3 months, they make I don't know, $10,000 revenue overall, like doing all the jobs, and we get 10% from all the revenue that they generate. So
your commission is 10%.
our commission is 10%, yeah. And she gets to keep like essentially 40% from the agency, sorry, 45% from the agency, 5 is paid to us from her, and then 5 is paid to us from the agency as well. So in the end, the model gets 45, the agency gets 45, and we get 10. And that required us to send quite a few models, and we only got paid 30 days after she started traveling. So end of summer, my paycheck was probably like 4 months after she actually traveled. So the cycle, once the money arrived, was really, really long as well.
Okay. Yeah, but how about this? How did you do the sales to these people in Japan who wanted your models? Because you understand the competition.
It was simple. It was so simple. They literally came to Estonia and they did a casting, and they said, "I want this girl. I want this girl," and that's it.
Why did they have to come to Estonia, not some other country?
They travel all over the world. So those scouts, they go from country to country, meeting people who scout the talent in their country, and then pick the ones that they like and bring to Japan.
So basically, you are, I would say, you are a middleman between a talent or a manager of the talent, and then there's a middleman in Japan who has relationship with the brands who want
Exactly.
who want content,
Exactly.
right? So you worked always through the middleman in Japan or like other countries?
Exactly.
Anytime with brands, direct relationships?
Because it was a modder agency, it's called a modder agency, we only scout talent and we give it away to people who do bookings. So these are the booking agencies that take our models. That's why their commission is bigger, because they have to fly in here, they have to invest in the model to fly there, they have to pay the tickets, have to advance pocket money for the models and all of that.
I see.
So it's a bigger expense, they take a bigger risk than us.
All right. So, and that's, yeah, this kind of more smoother process, basically. I think that's that's basically over the years how the modeling agency has been, like the fashion.
Exactly, and also it's a more passive approach, because imagine you find her, you develop her, she starts working full time. Your work is more or less done. You just have to make sure that the flights are booked. You have to make sure that like she's happy with her agencies, but you don't have to do any active work anymore. All the active work is taken care of by these people, so you can focus on scouting the next pool of talent.
Okay, got it. And all right, that's pretty much clear. Yeah. So you decided, all right, it's time to move to New York. I'll get it like behind me, everything I was doing. And what was, because I have a similar story that I went also to New York. So how did you plan your trip to New York? And was it temporary or was it permanent for you initially?
Since I didn't, like, I went there just to meet people and see if there's gonna be anyone who will be interested in working with me. So I went there during Fashion Week, and together with my boss from System, we just walked around different agencies.
And what kind of work you offered there? What was your specialty? Scout?
Was an international scout. So they offered me to move from being a motor agency scout to being the booking agency scout, which is a different role. It's not anymore scouting on the streets. It's actually going from country to country and finding the talent. So yeah, I was there. I met a few people, and my psychology was like, okay, let me start from the easiest agencies, that need a scout, and then go like higher and higher. And then I met two people. One was starting an agency. It was backed by one studio. It says Pier 59 Studios or something like this. They have like a huge backing from some Italian guy who runs this whole thing. And they brought some very OG agent who had like a huge experience from a long time ago from Italy to build this agency. And then there was another agency I met, which was mostly focused on the male model side. They had like the best talent for the male models, but they didn't have female models as strong, so they would need a scout. Both of them offered me a job, and both of them were really like on me to accept it. And I didn't even get a chance to meet like other agencies. I was like, okay, let it be. Let me just accept this job and start. So yeah, I accepted the job, and they sent me to Brazil.
Wow. Okay.
That was really quick.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious also. Okay, your New York timeline. How did you get into the tech part, the Beholder.ai? Because you don't have a technical higher education, right? So the whole thing, like you're a scout, you're a photographer, and suddenly, sometime later, there's a Beholder.ai.
Yeah, it's strange because that I even ended up in a creative industry, in the fashion industry, because at heart I was always like a techie. I loved computers. I wanted to learn programming. While I was at System, I was thinking, okay, like our job, it could be done in a way where we can hire other people under ourselves, give them commission, and essentially make it into like a what are those called, like MLM things,
Like a referral system.
Referral system, exactly.
Referral, yeah.
So I was like, let me build the system. So I started learning coding, and then what got me into coding for real was that when I hired someone from Freelancer or from Upwork, I don't remember, it was some freelance agency from Bangladesh, and those guys scammed the hell out of me. They were like, something was not working. They were charging me extra for fixing their own bugs, and it was like real crazy situation.
But what did you want to build?
I wanted to build a system where other people can join and become scouts. So it's like a
marketplace for
scouts. Yeah. I started building it, and then in the end, it didn't go anywhere because I didn't have the ability to build it.
And what year was it? How old you were?
I was like probably 21, 22, something like that. I don't know which year was that.
2014, 15, I guess then.
Probably.
Yeah, 32. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's basically it just didn't. My tech career always got messed up by my unsuccessful start with tech. The person teaching me programming didn't teach me well, so I dropped it until I found good courses to learn, and that's when I kind of understood how the programming works, understood how. The basics of programming, and I was listening to a lot of trading podcasts somehow. I don't know how. I was interested in fashion models and trading at the same time in tech, and I was stock trading and algorithmic trading. And when I was hearing that those guys are taking decisions based on data, and the computer decides whether to buy or sell, it's almost the same. Like, we are scouting for talent based on data points, face, like height, all of this. And because you cannot really measure height on a picture, but you can measure the proportions of the face if you like put dots everywhere on the face. I was like, damn, we could build an algorithmic system to measure the face and decide model, not model.
And I know you can see the height. You can guess. proportion of the shoulders width with the face size.
Actually, that's a good point. I haven't thought about
Because
this one.
that's why the shorter guys in movies look better, and that's why shorter guys are hired for movies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the shoulder to the face proportion looks better.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I was like, okay, I need to find a AI expert. So I pitched the guy.
when was it? Did you call it AI?
It was no, it was machine learning and computer vision. That's what I was calling it.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to get to. You did AI before it was right now like super mainstream.
Exactly. Yeah, I was actually like there was two attempts of creating this company Beholder. The first attempt, I was still at system, and we were trying to do it, and the computer vision thing was very, very not sophisticated. Like we tried, we couldn't even get the proof of concept to work. And we kind of dropped this. We were like, okay, it's not happening. It was super expensive. And then I was already at Elite, and the guy who I initially pitched this idea is calling me and is like, hey, I sit down and I'm trying those new AI models, and this thing is really like showing good results. Do you want to take a look at it again? I was like, okay, well, I'm actually pretty happy here at Elite, but let's try it out. And then he shows me like the accuracy was close to 89%. And I was like, okay, maybe it's something to pursue. Because at Elite, I realized that the most important thing was, like, we didn't even want to, basically the problem was that Elite wanted to scout its own models. They didn't want to pay so much commission to other agencies when they could find their own talent. And that could be a perfect way for Elite to scout talent. And I thought that, okay, if I am there scouting myself, if I could automate what I'm doing right now with the software, why not do it? And the problem with those legacy, I would call legacy agencies, but like legacy industries, is that they're not very receptive of everything tech. So their tech guys are fixing printers still. Okay. And they didn't really care too much. So I was like, okay, if they don't care, I found the guy who became my really close friend at Elite, Jasper. And we just quit together, and we decided, okay, we're just gonna build this thing.
Okay, so how does the product or the service looks? How does it work? It's not user facing, right? Can you basically explain?
It is user facing. It's like you log in. There's an interface of pictures that are profiles to Instagram. So our AI algorithm was working this way. It was going on Instagram, collecting all the pictures of the person, matching the person that this pictures belong, like the majority face recognized in a photo belongs to this account. So it was linking the face to the person, to the account, and then showing this person to the on the dashboard to the agency if this person was ranked above a certain threshold by our AI. And we also had a lot of people within the company who were essentially making sure we remove all the false positives.
So, still trying to understand what kind of faces got into the dashboard of the agency. Did you randomly scout whole? I mean, did you randomly scrape for whole Instagram?
Exactly.
Or
it was all hashtags, friends of friends of friends. So it was there could be two styles of scouting. It could be you put in a hashtag, you went through all the pictures posted on the hashtag. There was, I think, close to 200,000 profiles that we reviewed every single day. And then we did, you enter a profile, it goes into their followers and collects all the followers and then looks through their
because probably model is being liked by other models, obviously.
It was, the reality was that because we were scouting non-models, mostly we were interested in scouting non-models mostly. We gave a profile of a person in some, let's say, village, and her friends and her friend group, we essentially got access to her friend group and everyone in school. So you could see all these people, friend groups, and scout undiscovered talent who didn't even have an idea that they could be models. And we have a lot of interesting success stories where we scouted girls who had no clue they could be models that were then featured on the cover of magazines, walking the runway shows, and I have like a lot of examples, and it's cool.
Okay, and then I'm curious. Then how did this sales cycle work? Because you explained how you approached on the street or in shopping mall, but here, you basically that profile, is a potential model now. What are the next steps until he walks on a runway?
So my sales cycle was different because I was selling to the agencies now. I already quit the elite agency and I was building the software. So I essentially I made a mailing list of talent to all the agents. And when the agents saw the quality of talent we discovered, they were like, we got to get on this. So they were behind. The sales cycle was really long because there was a lot of management changes and all that. But we eventually signed with this group. It was elite group. So there was woman agency, elite agency, the society in New York. So it's like a really big group of agencies. And their sales cycle was, we show them the profile. They reach out with their scouts reach out, and because they have such a well-known brand name, like Elite represents Kendall Jenner, it was representing Cara, Adriana Lima, there was a lot of talent. So the people who got the message, they saw, oh my God, Elite is contacting me, they're representing those people. So for them, it was super easy.
Okay, that's what I assumed. If some high follower number account writes, then it must be something legit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I know that you, at one point, you stopped doing this before asking like why and what's next. Right now in 2025, would the system be still useful? Would this be making money? And like, what's the total addressable market? This kind of thing. Yeah.
So
maybe this is maybe this goes to my next question is like, why did you stop doing this?
Yeah. So when we signed the biggest group, they wanted to be exclusive. Have exclusive access to this tool, and
but they can want anything, but
exactly. But that was the condition for us to close them, and there was no one else. That had such a close relationship, and we were a startup running out of money, so we were basically cornered and be like, okay, let's close it. So we were essentially working for the main markets like Milan, New York, Paris, London for these agencies. We had a few clients in Asia who also used us, but people, as I said, in this industry are quite old school, and they were not willing to pay the amount that we were asking. And the reason we were asking for such big amount was because we had our GPUs, that we had a hell lot of GPUs running and processing images every single day. And that, like, I think our expenses per month, just purely hardware expenses, were like $16,000. And considering the fact that we were spending majority of our money for hardware, we had very limited amount of resources to hire people and to grow this. And because the market was so small, I was like, this is very hard to scale. And the battle for convincing people to give it a try is like, because the moment that someone finds the person and signs the person and gets return on investment, for them it was likely not worthwhile. It was maybe too much of a risk to do it, so they would still prefer the old school scouting style.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the conclusion I made myself too, that this product or service for the modeling agencies is just like some extra nice to have feature, because if you have scouts who get 4 models, they will make money from them anyway. But here you have this expensive tool, you get another 5 models, it doesn't change the revenue like 5 or 10x, because you still have this.
It can change. It's like a lottery. This scouting is like a lottery. You discover the next top model, you can become super rich. Like it takes only one model to make an agency very wealthy, but you have to play the lottery, and not everyone is willing to do it.
And basically, that tool that just increased the odds of the lottery,
Exactly.
but with more expenses.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, and then I guess you understood all this, right? You didn't see growth opportunities. How did you get into crypto then?
Yeah, I was exposed to crypto first time when Bitcoin was $300. My friend, our common friend Max, he was running a coin. I think it was called Coin Poker or something like that. Basically, poker rooms, and I was playing his free rolls. So I won some Bitcoin there, and right now my $5 that I won there are worth like $300 or something like that. So back then I told my dad, "Oh my God, this thing is so cool. We need to buy it." And I had no money to buy any. I would have bought some. So that's when I found out about it. That's when the seed was planted. And when I got back to it was actually when I was in Paris and I was trying to rediscover crypto again because I thought it was still cool. It was Ethereum launch. Everyone was talking about it. Me and my friend at the agency were like, we should participate in Ethereum launch. We like bought some Ethereum at a very low price.
I know the price. 2,000 Ethereum for 2 Bitcoins. Bitcoin was $300, so 2,000 Ethereum you got for $600.
Yes, but I was not that advanced yet. I was buying it on eToro. So eToro had already like higher prices. I think it was around $60.
Okay.
So basically, the bull market happened. I was kind of there, but not there.
The
then
17 bull market.
The 17 bull market, yeah. So I kind of I didn't really go all in because I was busy with the modeling agency thing. It was all consuming, all the traveling. So essentially, I forgot about it. And then I met you, and you told me about DeFi and Uniswap and all the farming stuff with food coins, or not. What was the
food coins? Exactly.
Food coins,
Yam.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yams. And when I listened to it, I was like, damn, this sounds so crazy. How do people just print money out of thin air? And I thought I need to give it a try. So I went, I made a few swaps on Uniswap, paid a huge fee. I was like, damn, I don't have the money to spend so much on gas fees, because gas fees were like $100 for one transaction. And that was too much. So I got my airdrop, which kind of changed
Uniswap.
airdrop, which kind of changed the understanding. I was like, oh my God, I made one swap or two swaps and they gave me an airdrop. So that got me hooked. But I still didn't go all in until Binance Smart Chain came out, and they made it very accessible for people that don't have like $100 for gas to do all the things that you were telling me about: lending, borrowing, farming, swapping, and all that. And that's when I really was able to experience what you were telling me about, but I wasn't really doing. I was just like on the sidelines looking you do all of this cool stuff. So after I saw how it works, I was like, okay, this is so cool. I need to go a level below and see how is it done, because I want to build something similar to this. So I was in chats. There was this voice chat room thing. What's it called?
Discord?
Not Discord. It was before Discord, like before Twitter introduced Spaces.
Yeah, Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. So I got exclusive access to Clubhouse, and we were all talking about like because it was a new bull market. Everyone was there, excited about crypto. We were talking about what are we farming, what tokens are we buying, all of that. And I made a lot of friends there, and those guys were like, let's build a fork of a farm, a sushi swap farm. And then I was the guy. I was like, okay, let me just do it. Let me figure out how the coding works. So I started getting on the internet, on YouTube, watching a lot of Solidity tutorials, and this led me to a hackathon, which was the Chainlink hackathon. And in this hackathon, I essentially put all my learnings into practice and build like it was an NFT, synthetic NFT derivative. It was tracking like the prices of CryptoPunks, all of them, but we had some kind of smart evaluation that it wasn't taking the highest price nor the lowest price. It was using some kind of real estate index analyzer, what's it called? Basically, the formula what people use to make an index for real estate. They consider how far is it from the school, how many rooms are in the apartment. So it used the same approach to see how many traits the specific CryptoPunk has, how unique it is, and based on that generated a price.
So for every specific NFT or just general average, so you took like a floor price, the top price, or maybe you took last 5 finished sales?
It took this, I think it was 30-day sales, and then took each individual a CryptoPunk and analyzed it based on like the traits it had.
Based on OpenSea or something.
On OpenSea,
right? Yeah. Okay.
And from that point, everyone just started bombarding me like, "Can you join our crypto startup, or can you write my smart contract?"
Wait,
or
so you won the hackathon?
we won the hackathon, but not the first prize. We won like the runner up, and they gave us like $6,000, and I was like, "Oh my god, you can make like with 3 days of hacking, you make $6,000. That's like insane. That's only in crypto." And after that, some people started coming into our projects like, "Guys, release a token. We want to invest in you." And for me, that was like I was mind blown, because here I was with Beholder, struggling to attain clients, pay my hardware cost, and here I have no hardware cost. All I have to do is write some code, and everyone is so excited about it, wants to give me a lot of money. It was a kind of a no-brainer to just move into this and just kind of I wouldn't say sell it, because we didn't really sell it, but we gave the access to the company that we were serving, and we just let it run. So they were paying us the retention fee until they didn't want to pay it anymore, and it was like a passive income, I would say. And here was my like active income thing.
Okay. All right. So yeah, from my side, I remember we were playing basketball on the street, and I had a FOMO too back then. I was a Bitcoin maxi till 2020, and then the whole DeFi thing happened, the food coins, food tokens, and then I literally had also sleepless nights. How this works? I basically deposited Ethereum as a collateral. I borrowed stable coins at 5% interest rate, and then I deployed the stable coins into this food contracts, the food coins and everything, and then I was making money, and that's why I was explaining, right? And I remember you listened to that, and to others too, and then like 6 months later or something, 1 year later, we again meet each other, and you saying like, "Hey, I learned it. I won a Chainlink hackathon." Like, okay. I literally was preaching Bitcoin and crypto to my friends since 2013, and really few people have taken action on that. So you were like, I was surprised that everybody's super pessimistic, or like, they're thinking whatever thoughts they have about the cryptocurrency industry, but you literally took action.
Yeah, you planted the seed. Actually, I would say you gave water to the seed that was planted a long time ago, because I got excited about Bitcoin when it was $300. I just didn't have the money. Then I got excited about it again when Ethereum was launching. Again, I didn't have the money to really make anything out of it. And then again, when you told me about this, I was like, oh, wow, now I can do something practical with it, because outside of just buying something, I want to do something with it. And that's when we got the opportunity to do something with it. But it was still inaccessible. And then once the Binance Smart Chain came, it was like all the like the seed started growing and everything started happening.
So yeah, basically put it into practice something,
Exactly.
make something for users. Okay, all right. So you won the hackathon. I understand you were you were. You didn't mention that, but maybe I'll just say it that you were started developing smart contracts for others, right? Can you tell about that?
Exactly. Like the my goal after the hackathon was like, okay, let's do this project, but at the same time, everyone was going into Telegram groups that I was part of with Solidity and asking for smart contracts, and I was like, okay, let me just do it. So I did one job for $500. I was like, oh, nice copy paste work, $500, pretty cool. Let me try asking 1,000 this time. They were willing to pay 1,000 for again copy paste. All I had to do was fork a token, a meme or a farm, and give it to them. I went up to like $3,000 per contract. That took me 15 minutes to command shift, change the names, and do it. So
The ticker is ETH or something. Yeah.
exactly. It was like a true product market fit, and that was basically back in the day. I was like the what's it called? Pump.fun, just a manual pump.fun. Everyone was trying to make a meme coin and they didn't know how, so they came to me and I was just forking it.
Okay. All right. And then from that moment, to then we built together Clip Finance, right?
Yes.
Eventually. So can you talk about to this moment and the whole thing about DeFi because you got in deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I think anytime we started building something, what I realized is like we were always one step ahead with technology. When we were discussing, you were like in the transition process with Paxful, you were thinking what to do, and we were both farming. I came to you and like, hey, soon there's going to be cross-chain farming. And I saw the documentation about it on Chainlink's website. I was really crazy about Chainlink. I was studying their docs and I saw they had CCTP or something like this. And I thought it was an actual working product or coming soon product. And in reality, when we started building Clip Finance to be the cross-chain yield platform, because it was very kind of hard to move money between chains, not user-friendly, the newbies couldn't do it. We didn't consider the fact that there's not yet a technology that will enable it as it is today, and also the financials were different. Back then, it was way more expensive to move money between chains. The commissions were higher because there was very little competition. And the other thing we didn't really consider is that a lot of the bridges back in the day got hacked. So the bridge ecosystem thing was kind of bad. So instead of back then we shouldn't have built the yield product, we should have built a bridge. We should have started with the bridge.
Yes, I remember that part, like lessons learned in the future when we were checking this one protocol that was automating 3 steps for a person, like bridge, swap, and stake on another chain. And then it had $150 million in TVL.
Exactly.
And then and then I came there from Pax, like, hey, I have a lot of experience building user-friendly products, and DeFi is again for geeks. I see the parallels with Bitcoin in 2013-14. Let's make something that is super user-friendly, and that's how we got it. That's how we built. Looking back is like the infrastructure wasn't there, and now all these ideas. I mean, all the problems we could have solved back then are now quite big DeFi apps. I mean, startups and the protocols.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that the new projects that started doing the cross-chain yield, I don't think there is really still a big product market fit for cross-chain yield products. I don't see any cross-chain yield products being as big as like Pendle or like Aave or something like this. They are kind of like used by a smaller segment of people, because I think people who use DeFi, they like to be hands-on. They like to use their wallet. They like to confirm their transaction. They like to understand how things work. So the people who are building the new generation of yield products, who we actually met in Alliance, are the ones who are completely removing the blockchain element from it. They're just making it into a savings product that you can use with an app and deposit from your bank account. And that to me seems like an approach that will work with simplification and just building it on crypto rails.
Right, okay. And I'm curious here also your viewpoint. Let's say we started around 2020, 2021, building Clip Finance, the first version, and then now it's 2025, a few years later. Back then, there was more about everything should be super decentralized, and now it, like you just said, it doesn't have to be. I mean, some protocols that are now about the yield optimization, right? Yield aggregators, they literally are in control of your funds and move around. And like what was back then our viewpoint, our mistakes, and
Yeah, it wasn't even a mistake. It was just the general consensus. It was very hard for me to change my mindset when I heard the first time about relayer, like intent bridges. I was like, how come you're trusting someone to fulfill your transaction? What if he's not going to do it? It should be different and all that. And I see that all the intent bridges are executing the fastest. Therefore, people just care to get the fastest solution, move their money, and that's it. They don't care if it's super decentralized. Maybe some care, and then they go to a different product. But the reality, what I see today, is that protocols move way faster, building half decentralized, half centralized solutions. And it wasn't like this before. There could be a reason why it wasn't like this before. Maybe it was because the legal framework was even less clear than it is right now. Like the guys who built this privacy protocol, Tornado Cash, if they did it in a half decentralized, half centralized way, I'm not sure whether they would have a chance in court. They would be blamed for everything. But here they just build a smart contract technology that can be used by anyone. Therefore, I think, for example, all like perpetual exchanges like GMX, DYDX, and all those guys, they build a fully decentralized version because who knows what if someone goes after them and they say, hey, it's just a protocol I built, it's a smart contract, I'm not in control, it's just my front end. So I think the things changed overall with the clarity in terms of what is okay and what is not okay in DeFi in terms of legal. And second, people saw that a lot of people got very rich by not caring about decentralization. So obviously they will be like, okay, we have to make some money.
Or the so-called intent bridges started getting users.
That's one thing. And the other thing is that if you're building a startup and you're gonna start to go with all the principles of decentralization, other guys are just gonna outcompete you and you're gonna be left with nothing. So you have to make kind of compromises. And I still believe in decentralization. It should happen after product market fit. Like you establish full understanding of what needs to be done. You got users, and then you can start decentralizing different elements of your project and kind of giving back to the community in that form.
I think similar way that there's the transparent thing on the blockchain, right? That everything can be verified on the blockchain. Like, hey, all the trades happen now on the perps indexes, right? You can all this verify in the blockchain, but some component is kind of not completely decentralized. It's basically can be owned by the DeFi app, by the platform with a multi-sig, but users know it and they take the risks. But they know at least it's completely transparent because they were during that 2021 when a bunch of things exploded were the centralized services. Yeah. Okay.
But the reason that they exploded was because those people, like, you didn't see what they were doing with the money,
Yeah.
and they were not telling you what they were doing with the money. At least, we take Hyperliquid, for example. When you make a deposit through their bridge, you're literally sending money with a transfer to their like a wallet, or I think it's a wallet, and then they send you money on their chain. You see that the money is sitting on the wallet and they're not doing anything with it. The only thing you're risking right now is that they will turn around, shut off all their servers, and not pay you when you withdraw the money. But I'm sure they also have some kind of guardrails in place that would kind of
fallback option.
Fallback option, yeah. But at the same time, if you think about, remember there was this bridge, multi-chain, yeah. They also kind of had a similar approach. It was kind of decentralized. But then when the authorities came after the founder in China, they just weren't able to execute some transactions because they couldn't get his signature onto something. So you don't really know all the insights of every project. You might trust it. You're taking the risk. But with this guy, he disappeared, couldn't give a signature. People got their money stuck in a bridge.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're working on Club Finance, and then we just trying to grow it and so on. What was your viewpoint until we got started with our current idea, Unigox?
The viewpoint was that growth is the hardest part in crypto, and the best way to grow is align yourself with communities that already have users and they're out there, like we did with Linea.
Linea blockchain.
Linea blockchain, yeah. Shout out to Linea blockchain for helping us. It was very important thing in that moment that they helped us with getting users to try out our platform, and we got a lot of feedback because we understood whether people want to stay, and we managed to grow our TVL to 3 million, almost 3 million, to 2 million with something, yeah. But what I also understood that you have to kind of be super patient with DeFi projects, and like people don't deposit into whatever protocol. They want to trust the protocol, and there was a lot of competition. So overall, building in DeFi, getting liquidity is hard unless you have some really good value proposition. Like Pendle came up with something brand new.
But it also took them years.
To do. So I think that was my big takeaway, and I would say the other big takeaway was that staying lean is super important when it comes to like team and making the right decisions when it comes to building features and trying to test them out really fast and see if people want it or not, and if they do, in what form, because the core behavior is always the same. People want to stake, but how do they want to stake, and what is behind that staking that they want to have, and not trying to pressure them into, okay, we automate yield for you. No, that's not what we want. We actually want just a great leveraged yield position or something like that. So basically getting more feedback from users as early as possible.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're now learning along the way as well with Unigox. So I will skip the part how we moved from Club Finance to Unigox, because I explained in my podcast when you interviewed me. So whoever wants to check it out, you check out the previous podcast where I explained the story, how we got into Unigox. So now fast forward. We are building Unigox. We are now live. Let's say, what kind of lessons learned, skills did you apply from your scouting times, from your Club Finance building DeFi protocol times? Let's unwrap this.
I think the scouting times give me the most amount of understanding of how to discover uh, talented developers early on. Uh, Hiring people is super difficult. We've been going through this over and over again. Um, the latest big trend I'm having hard time. I mean, the latest big trend is people are working on multiple jobs. It's like, what's going on? Like, I am not a guy who would like to put someone on a thing that takes screenshots of people's screen because I want to trust people.
Oh, the time tracker.
The time tracker, yeah.
We hire, yeah.
But it's like the more we try with different people, the more I see that like people can't be trusted anymore. They
Because of remote.
because of remote, yeah. They come in with good intentions, good skills. You give them a task, and you know yourself, because I've been developing myself, that this takes like maybe 3 hours. So, and when their 2 days of work submitted is that 3 hours of like something that you would build in 3 hours, they submitted after 2 days. You're like, something is not right, and then you start questioning it, and you kind of see it pretty quick that they're not either invested, they're not committed, or they have a second job. Like this guy was this guy who was working for like 8 YC startups.
Yes, Sahim something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I call him the Tinder swindler of startups, because he was saying how he's like he's being bombed because there was a conflict between India and Pakistan. So it was like, people like this, there are more and more of them. So learning to understand those things really early and detect genuine people who have talent and maybe have not yet revealed. Like, we hired a really talented guy who came as a junior developer, Ruslan. Shout out Ruslan. He started.
Don't mention the names, otherwise he will be hunted.
Yes. He came with very humble, willing to learn, willing to do stuff, and you could immediately tell that the guy really wants to grow, and he wants us to succeed, because he also sees that by us succeeding, we all succeed. So I think a lot of people, in one takeaway, maybe between myself and overall the mindset is, whenever I join the company and think of it as my own company, even if it's not my own, and I build and fight for it like it's my own, because I know that I will be rewarded for it, because the founders will see it, they will want me to stay. So if those guys join a company that has founders who have had previous success, they should be betting on the founders and themselves to find a way to make this thing a success. You're joining a startup, we are all discovering what the success of this startup is going to be like, and here's your chance to leave your footprint into this. So I think this is like my biggest takeaway from the scouting and like hiring people.
Yeah, you told really about the problem, right? All your frustrations, you let it out. I want to know from the scouting how you find talent. So if you could give to other tips, right? Like how you found the really good junior developer, right? What kind of traits you're looking for, or how can you increase the probability? Because when we're interviewing more senior guys, like you're saying, they answer really well in the interview. We know that they're not faking this, they're really knowledgeable, but then when they come to the work, their motivation is different, or they're doing multiple jobs, and we get frustrated.
Yeah, so it's literally the same thing as with models. You either have it or you don't have it. It's like almost genetics, or whatever experience you had when you were young. If you were reading motivational books and listening to Tony Robbins when you were young, or you were not. So you have to really see the fire burning in that person, and eagerness to learn and be proactive. And the very best way to understand it is you essentially stress test him the first week. And if the first week he gives up, that means he just doesn't have that inside of him. Like we have this designer who went through hells and fires, and he's still standing, and he's very strong, and he's delivering results, and he's not going anywhere. And he I don't know, like I think he wants us to succeed because he sees that his designs are now being put into action,
Into
production. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's also his own willingness to become successful and learn. So he has to, like, I don't think we can give like big impact on these people. These people have to come with that mindset, that fire, and we can nourish it and make it grow.
Okay, well, that was kind of the first thing that you're applying based on your past experience, like hiring talent. You kind of unwrapped here a lot of things. Any other skills or any other experience you are using now?
From the modeling agency times?
Maybe what comes to your mind from modeling agency times about the sales, about maybe Clip Finance, what kind of mistakes we have done in the product and development, what we were focusing on some wrong things instead of should have done differently.
There's always so many things, so many learnings that if I don't know which one to pick. So if you would pick one thing for me, I can I can give some kind of answer.
I think the one good one I know. Yeah, well, that's kind of the general rule, right? We can unwrap some general rule. For example, the first-time founders focus on tech, second-time founders focus on product, third-time founders focus on distribution.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and so how do you approach that?
For the distribution side of things, with
I mean, first of all, do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. I think that even the third time founders, some who love tech and love development, struggle with focusing on distribution because they want to have a perfect product before they actually go out and talk to the right users, and having to force yourself to stop developing, shutting off your computer and jumping on a call with somebody is a way better approach to building a company. And I see a lot of people who have very little tech skills manage to build great businesses just because they understand the distribution part super well. And then they find somebody to kind of crack the business side and sometimes, sorry, the development side. And sometimes when you crack the business side so well, even if your tech side sucks, people are just going to come, stay, use your broken product and tell you that it sucks, but give you feedback and you can iterate. And they use it because you're serving a niche audience who is underserved and has a problem that needs to be solved. So I think if I would have to kind of live by this, I would be like, we need to spend more time with users understanding the niche problems that needs to be solved, and not try to compete with the big players that are already solving majority of the cases.
Okay, got it. So yeah, I'll get to the Unigox, what it is about, probably after one or two questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you did basically sales, right, in the past, and somehow you like marketing too. So my question is, I mean, you made a really cool Clip Finance T-shirt you designed that looks like a Marlboro cigarette logo,
Yes.
but with the Clip Finance, and people can relate. And then I have some people I gave this T-shirt to. They're still sending me pictures because they are proud to wear it because other people react, and every time they kind of remember about me, about our project. Anyway, yeah, this is not sales, right? Like, Why do you do marketing? Is it out of necessity because nobody else is doing, or what?
I think out of necessity, and I just like cool, interesting things that get people's attention. I think overall, we are all always in sales and marketing. In order for us to do good sales, we need marketing. It can all go down to like the times when you were trying to be popular amongst women. It's like you do marketing by looking good, and then once you have the person talking to you, then you have to do good sales. So, the principles are the same. We have to do good marketing. We have to have a good look. We have to present ourselves trustworthy, interesting. Then people will come, and then it's our role to convert them either through visual, like with our website, with our user experience and all of that, or with us talking to the user or a business and explaining how we can kind of solve their problem.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense, right? You start the kind of the conversion with the sales or with marketing, yeah, and then you convert them into the product, and it's like the whole funnel, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's talk about specifically Unigox. What is it? What can somebody from the street do on Unigox?
For me, Unigox is a place where you, first of all, come buy and sell crypto in a very simple and a trustworthy way. We're like Uber, we're connecting a buyer and a seller together, and buyers are showing their intent to buy crypto. The sellers are out there willing to sell their crypto, and we are matchmaking them and ensuring that the transaction goes smoothly. So how we ensure it? We ensure it with an escrow and with the latest feature that we have, which is verifiable proof of fiat payment. The crypto payments are done on the blockchain, but the fiat payments cannot be tracked on the blockchain. So there is this new technology that we discovered called zkTLS, which we spoke about earlier. It allows to verify fiat payments cryptographically without revealing unnecessary information from the bank. So how it works, someone logs into their bank account, shows that they actually made the payment to the person who they were buying crypto from, and they paid the exact amount that they were supposed to pay. So essentially, this is the core idea, enabling users to buy and sell crypto. So users buy and sell crypto for specific reasons. I buy crypto because I'm interested in either sending money to somebody or investing it somewhere. So Unigox also has a wallet that allows people to send money and essentially pay others. So this is the core wallet feature, and you don't have to pay gas fees because those are taken care of by us. So we have the chain, we enable gasless transactions. Anytime I invite someone who doesn't know about crypto, explaining to them how gas works is like rocket science. So that's why we decided that, okay, we're going to make the most easiest experience for users to buy, sell, and send money. Now, the next phase, we're also going to allow people to do something with their crypto, which is buy volatile assets, either spot, leverage, and if they want to do some other things, I mean, it is going to be up to their imagination because we have a non-custodial wallet, which they can then import and go explore more like DeFi activities, like lending and borrowing and all of that. Eventually, we'll integrate it, but for now, that's where we are.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I kind of understood everything. I'll just to say myself too that there's an easy way to do buying and selling of crypto, and there's a non-custodial wallet as well. Everything is on-chain. The P2P escrow is on-chain. You can buy and you can send stable coins now without gas, so you can onboard new people the way that they have to only buy stable coins, and they get them in a non-custodial wallet on Unigox. They don't have to pay gas fees every time they're sending it, so there's no surprise for them. They have to make a second purchase of Ethereum or some gas token.
I want to go a little bit off script and say that my dream is for Unigox to not just be a place where people solve their problem of buying and selling crypto and transacting, but actually a place where they can make money. Because why people are in finance? Well, solving the necessities is one thing, but a lot of people are in finance because they want to make money with their money or make money with their time. So being able to make money through being a vendor on Unigox is an amazing way to use your bank account and use your crypto to buy to help other people buy and sell and solve their problems. So that's one super important aspect of Unigox. And the second aspect is if you are a knowledgeable trader, you know how to watch the charts, you're following the news, you should be able to do it all on Unigox in a decentralized way. And you have a personal story, but we also covered those stories, how centralized exchanges basically took other people's money, closed down, FTX, whatever. We all know the stories. This is the reason why we're building it in a decentralized way, integrating decentralized products into Unigox so that we can move the finance into the DeFi rails and move away from the old school centralized platforms where you have no clue what's going on.
Okay, interesting. So I have here two comments. So the first comment is about people can make money, like you said. I'm making now a video how to do fiat to crypto P2P arbitrage, and on every trade you can make up to 2%. So it's going to be either before or after this video is out, but more or less. So please see in the related videos of how to do this P2P arbitrage, because I've been 10 years in crypto P2P. And the second question is, like, how do you see the whole decentralization? Because look, I've been in crypto since 2015. Back then it was Bitcoin maxis, Ethereum didn't exist, and people were really, oh, let's make a new financial system outside of dollar. But now most of the people don't care, right? There's many reasons. They just trying to make money whatever ways, and we are literally building just a fintech startup just on a blockchain rails.
Yeah, I mean, the decentralization, I would maybe rephrase it, not decentralized. It is decentralized in a way, but I would say permissionless. I think permissionless is the most important keyword of it, because I don't like asking anybody to borrow against my assets. I just want to do it. And I don't want to ask anybody to send money from one wallet to another wallet. If I do that and the bank comes to me and start asking questions, that's a whole annoyance to go through. So I think the blockchain rails will enable permissionless transactions that will improve the user experience and just global finance in general.
Okay, that's like one step at a time, right?
Exactly.
Let's make first permissionless, so people have a choice, right?
Exactly.
They hold their own money. Yeah. Okay, so Unigox right now, if somebody says to us like, hey, but I can buy crypto or sell crypto on other website, why should I do it here?
Why should you do it here? I mean, you can do it anywhere. Come check the rate. If you like the rate, buy it on Unigox. Why not? Why do it P2P style? It's basically the rate is usually better than on other platforms, and it has more variety of banks. So you can choose whatever bank you want. You want to transfer from your Revolut to another Revolut, or get your sell your crypto and get money in your bank account instantly on your Revolut. I think that's the best thing ever, because anytime I've been using centralized platforms, they take forever to send me my money. Sometimes they do it fast, but sometimes they take forever. And when it's stuck, it's like I cannot do anything. The power is in their hands. Here you have an escrow. You can say, hey, you didn't transfer me the money in the period of time, which we have like around 25 minutes to transfer the money. If money is not transferred, you're getting the crypto back and you can do another transaction and get your money right there and then. So that's one thing. The other thing is we have a bridge that allows you to move money between so many different chains, and you can withdraw the money from Unigox for free to other chains. So if you want to go do trading, if you want to, a lot of people like to do prediction markets. If you want to put your money in a prediction market, go ahead, unramp yourself on Unigox, withdraw into your what's the most famous prediction market? I forgot. Polymarket. Yes. Withdraw your money onto Polymarket and make your bets and make your money and come back and cash it out in Unigox.
Okay, got it. I have a question not related to the Unigox, but about the mindset. So, when you're building a startup, you need to have this urgency mindset, or like no plan B. That's how you moved to New York. I moved to New York. I've watched this Arnold Schwarzenegger TEDx talk, not on the TEDx itself, but his talk, right? How do you make, how do you become successful? So what are kind of your ideas, thoughts? How do you set your mindset to that?
This burn the bridge, burn the bridges and burn the ships is like this Sun Tzu's Art of War.
I think it's from ancient Greek, actually.
Yeah, but there is. I remember reading Art of War, and there was a thing about how they beat a way bigger army because the army general said to burn down the ships. And they were fighting because they knew that they have no way to go back. So they fought until the end. So I think the one problem when you have achieved a certain kind of comfort in your life, you are more you're less eager to like hustle hard and fight and all that. So pushing yourself always onto the next level is super important to keep the fire burning and look up to other people who are way who have achieved way more in life than you have. And my fire is burning not because I'm uncomfortable, but because I have achieved way more before than I have achieved today. And I am not able to accept the fact that we have not yet achieved 1 million users. And my fire is so bright that I'm ready to get up early in the morning, do exercise to get my my blood pumping, and sit in my computer and try to conquer this. And you have to have this kind of high standard for yourself, and it's literally about setting high standards. It's all the how to be successful things are out there. It's just about really programming your mind to follow them and set your standards high and not accept anything less than, and forget about comfort, because life's supposed to be uncomfortable. People back in the days when they were hunters and gatherers, like if you don't hunt, you don't eat. So you have to have the same thing.
Yeah, and you have to set it up the way that you don't have the fallback option. Just comparison with me too. I was in New York. I also didn't have plan B because I needed to succeed. I could get the job at Microsoft. That's what my parents they told me, like, hey, you look shit, right? Because I was building back then Paxful. Yeah. But I knew this is not what I want. I want to build a product. So I would say, just for others too, basically also set in your subconscious some tangible goals. I don't know, even my comparison was Basically, before I was making money, I was going to the clubs, but I couldn't afford tables. So I literally I need to now keep making money so I can keep going every weekend to the clubs to afford tables. For that, you can't just make this money on a salary.
Exactly.
That's it. Or I don't know, my mother needs a house. Yeah.
Exactly. In those, like, some people might think, oh, what is this goal? You want to buy tables at the clubs. But if this goal is enough to keep the fire burning, once you get the tables at the club, then you will want to buy a house for your mom.
Yeah.
Then you will want something else, and your standards keep rising because you're achieving all those basic things like.
And the most important thing, you shouldn't get some people get comfortable at some
Exactly.
point, right? I mean, you watch some people like, hey, I retired, I have $3 million, I'm making 10%, I'm living the good life, right? Some people have like that, but I guess you, nor me, don't have this goal. Yeah.
Exactly, because there's actually so many things in life to try that require more than $3 million. Like if you want to buy a plane,
Yeah.
you have to maintain a boat or something like this. Like I had this crazy dream when I was young, skiing with my mom. When we arrived at the ski resort in France, I was like, one day I'm gonna own a ski resort because this is so cool. So of course it's a crazy goal, but
It's like a childhood dream. I want to own the computer club.
exactly,
Right?
yes.
You were going to computer clubs. Hey, I want to own one. Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Those things really like light up a fire, and if you keep fighting for it every day without giving up because you have no backup plan, eventually you will get there, because the only way you lose is when you give up. And I think it's like everyone has said it. It's like the only way you lose is when you stop fighting.
Either you have something to add now, or after my few rapid questions, you can add later. You want me to go with the rapid questions, or you want to add something?
Can go to the rapid questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Not too many of them. So, biggest mistake from modeling or early startup days?
Biggest mistake from modeling. Not being impatient enough to go and try to go aim higher. I think I sat and built this agency in Estonia for 6 years, and I think that I could have moved way faster if I was more eager to go out there and do it and be more impatient about things.
All right. So basically, higher goals, like bigger goals, right?
Bigger goals, less patience.
Or more rapid execution.
No, execution, like, yes, you can execute more rapidly, but if you have a small market, you have to move to a bigger market. So I was in a small market and I was too long in a small market. I'm happy I went to a bigger market because things started moving way faster.
Okay. And best piece of advice you got?
Best piece of advice, like general?
I think so. Yeah. What comes to your mind?
Well, best piece of advice, I think use AI for coding. That's the best piece of advice. Because if someone is still not using AI for coding, they should switch.
All right. That's kind of relevant now, but anything over the years, you remember something, some mentor or whatever got you like, oh, yes. Or
I would say, like, I would not say the best piece of advice. I would say what I'm the most grateful of and thankful is that I've had so many different experiences, and through those different experiences, I've acquired so many different skills, friends, and met so many people who then introduced me to so many different things. So my best advice out there is to put yourself out there, try things, even if they don't make sense. Just try it out, see if you like it. If your heart is pulling you towards it, like my heart was pulling me towards tech, even though I was in fashion. My heart was pulling me towards fashion because it was very like different from everything that I've known, like in Estonia and all that. I was watching fashion TV. It would be very unrealistic going from Estonia to working for an agency in Paris and New York and traveling. So it's like set unrealistic goals and put yourself out there.
Okay, that's great. We can wrap up.
Thank you so much, Arthur,
you.
for the very interesting conversation.
Thank you. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Poolteist tundi.